Hello everyone, this is Ridge Racer 3D for the Nintendo 3DS, and keep in mind that I'm still experimenting the best way to show 3DS games. Now, if the 3DS had video out capabilities, that would have been preferable, but it doesn't, so this is the best way I can come up with. Now let me know if showing it like this, or you just want to see the main screen, just the top screen, and who cares about the bottom screen. But I figure this might be the best way to show off and to truly represent how the game is when you're playing on the 3DS. At least that's my thinking. So Ridge Racer 3D is, all in all, an average racing game. It's honestly, there's nothing really too special about the game. The game plays fine. It controls well. The game looks pretty good for a launch game. But the biggest problem with this game, before I talk about that, the 3D in this game is actually one of the best things about this game that has to offer. If you're picking up a 3DS for the first time and you want to get a game that really shows off what the 3D screen can do, this is probably one of the better games to show off to people because of the fast moving action, and this game really does give a depth of field when you have the 3D turned on. Now obviously in this video you won't be able to see that, but I tell you, having the 3D turned on for this game is actually a treat to your eyes, assuming you don't get sick from it. But apart from that, Ridge Racer 3D doesn't really bring anything new to the table. It doesn't bring any new modes. In fact, the modes in this game is really limited. I really wish they added more features to this game. Hell, you know what? Why not add online play? Is it that big of a deal to add online play? Online racing. It does have multiplayer, it's just local play. Now, I've never been to Japan, and maybe that's less of an issue in Japan, but here in America, we're not really people that would really meet and gather in public places to play, say like Ridge Racer 3D. We're more of at home playing games online, or if we're just out in the restaurant and we have a 3DS with us, and they have Wi-Fi, we'll play a game online like that. But we're not really people that would come together and play local games. That was more popular in the late 90s / early 2000s. With the N64 and Xbox ages in terms of local multiplayer. But in 2011, you know what? There's really no excuse anymore. Stick online in these games now. And that's my biggest complaint with this game, is that there's no online, because you're spending, I think now the game's $30, but this was a launch game for the system, and they were charging $40, full price for a 3DS game. Come on, add online support. Even Street Fighter for the 3DS has online. I don't have the game. I actually have Dead or Alive Dimensions for the 3DS, and that game has online. But that's another video. But seriously, from this point on, these developers need to emphasize more heavily on the online part. If it's going to have multiplayer, add online to it. And that's part of the reason why I did not pick up Star Fox 64 3D, is because I've already played the game. I have that game for the Wii Virtual Console. Why am I going to spend 40 bucks for a 3DS version that's really just a graphical update? Honestly, that's really all it is. And I'm sure the multiplayer part's fun, but there's no online multiplayer, and that's what pretty much killed the deal for me. And that's kind of true with this game too. It doesn't really bring anything new. In fact, a lot of these tracks are actually reused from older games. So if you played Ridge Racer in the past, you pretty much played this game too. It doesn't really bring anything new. The modes are really limited. You pretty much, in terms of single player, you got really two modes. You got championship and single race, and then you got the local multiplayer. And that's really all this game has to offer. Yeah, the championship mode is pretty long, but you're going to be racing a lot of the same tracks, whether it's going forward or going backwards, you know, driving the other direction. But it doesn't really bring anything new to the table. And you know, when you compare this to other racing games on the 3DS, you know, at least as of this recording, you're kind of limited. So this is the better option if you're dying for a racing game for the 3DS and you want one right now. Ridge Racer 3D is pretty much the answer, but if you can wait until Mario Kart 7 comes out. That's going to be an awesome game, and it should have online. Yeah, it's going to have online, of course. Why wouldn't it? The Wii version had online. Even the DS version of Mario Kart has online multiplayer. So there's really no excuse at this point. And even Star Fox Command for the Nintendo 3DS has online play. So why the hell Star Fox 64 doesn't? This is starting to become more of a rant video. But that just shows you that there's really not much to talk about Ridge Racer 3D. It's a competent racing game. It looks good. The 3D is actually really good in this game, but it doesn't really bring anything new to the table. If you played any other Ridge Racer game in the past, you pretty much played Ridge Racer 3D, honestly. So that's pretty much it. Like always, have a good one.